And I move when I wanna, and I do what I wanna. Got a whole lot of ammo in me, and I shoot when I wanna.
Welcome everyone. I'm COD since 1998, and today I invite all of you to take the red pill with me as I discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly from Modern Warfare 2019. Just a little bit of background on me. I've been gaming for 12 years, and I've owned and played every single Call of Duty except for Infinite Warfare. The game just didn't interest me, so I never bought it or played it. At the end of the video, I'll give my overall score on a scale of 1 to 10, but for now, let's start with what Activision and Infinity Ward did right with Modern Warfare. The best thing COD had going for it this year was its pay structure and the availability of content. I'm not the type of person to typically pour money into a game, even if I played almost daily, so being able to freely earn extra DLC that was added each season was a huge relief. This free model encouraged players to return to the game each season, and even allowed to earn additional COD points if you finish the Battle Pass. The amount of earnable content this year really doesn't compare to any of the previous CODs. From seasonal challenges to limited time rewards, there was a lot to grind for this year. The variety and game modes of this year's COD was also a huge plus. From the gritty new take on Modern Warfare's campaign that rewrote history and changed the future, to the free-to-play Warzone, where every fight is important and one wrong move can send you to the gulag. My hot take of this video is that I even like the co-op missions. If done in order, they were an extension to the campaign storyline that was playable with friends. Speaking of friends, Call of Duty is setting the bar in gaming by adding crossplay, where Xbox, PlayStation, and PC can all coexist. This should be the standard for all MMOs and co-op games in the future, especially with next-gen consoles coming out so soon. There was also the newly added Gunsmith that allowed for a deeper weapon and loadout customization, which could make nearly any gun or playstyle viable in certain situations. We also had unique perks like Kill Chain and Point Man for those that want to lone wolf and carry their team, or play the objective, all while earning the kill streaks that make COD so different from other shooter games. Now for the bad stuff. You would think for developers that have been working on COD games for nearly 20 years, they would be able to figure out how spawns work, especially when they're remaking the same maps from older CODs. There is no reason that every time you die, you should either get insta-killed the next time you spawn in, or have to run 30 seconds before you get into a gunfight. Then there was the 10v10 playlist that was so hyped up before launch, and then flopped on day one. They were supposed to have dedicated 10v10 maps, but due to poor map design, nobody wanted to play them. A few months down the line, they allowed the normal 6v6 maps to be played in the 10v10 playlist, but the game mode just didn't live up to expectations. The poor map design didn't stop with just the 10v10 maps though. There were more nooks, crannies, and safe spaces for all the KD warriors out there than in any previous COD title I can remember. I almost always play Search and Destroy, but I would hop into what I consider normal multiplayer if I needed to work on seasonal challenges or grind camos. There always seemed to be a camp fest, and this issue was probably amplified by the strict skill-based matchmaking, which punishes players from playing well. And for those that care about their KD, this caters to a playstyle where camping is prevalent. Not to mention the big three. And I'm sure if you played this game for any time at all, you're probably familiar with them. Yeah, I'm talking about the M4, the MP5, and the 725. The three guns that ran the meta of multiplayer for the majority of the year. Weapon balancing seemed non-existent, or in the very least, futile this year. They were each openly nerfed multiple times, but remained atop each of their respective weapon types and as some of the best weapons in the game. To conclude the bad aspects, I think Modern Warfare had a huge wasted opportunity with Warzone themes. We've seen how much they put into it recently with the October/Halloween event, but they managed to miss out on every other holiday. In years past, we've had special events for Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's, Easter, and the 4th of July. Warzone would have been the perfect mode to have special in-game events for each of those holidays, and it would draw new players in too. As for the ugly of Modern Warfare, what's that old saying? Oh, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have no idea why they chose a seasonal progression system in replacement of Prestige. I can't imagine that it would have been difficult to have a traditional Prestige system in addition to the seasonal progression. I was a huge fan of the seasons Call of Duty implemented this year, but it didn't need to be a replacement. Removing the traditional Prestige system was a huge mistake, as it takes away from the experience for completionist grinders. Another big L is still having console exclusivity in 2020. You know, from 2010 to 2015, Activision and Microsoft had their exclusivity deal, and since 2015, Activision has been partnered with Sony. Exclusivity is just as dumb today as it was when it started, but it's an outdated model for gaming in general, especially when we're seeing more and more games with crossplay capabilities. It just doesn't make sense. One of the biggest issues Activision has struggled with this year is staying on top of bug fixes and fixing game-breaking mechanics, not to mention the cheaters. For a company whose net worth is over $61 billion, yes, billion with a B, their lack of action is inexcusable. There have been bugs that splinter your screen and render you unable to see anything, and mechanics that make Warzone games unwinnable unless you were cheating or taking advantage of a blatant exploit in the game. Aimbotting, wall hacking cheaters have run rampant through this year's game, and they've been especially bad in Warzone. It's been so bad that content creators and streamers alike have had to step away from the game until some sort of fix was made. Meanwhile, the cheaters just walk around the most recent hurdle that Activision puts in their way. There is no reason a AAA title like Call of Duty shouldn't have some sort of active anti-cheat system in place. Overall, I would say this game is deserving of a 7.1 out of 10 rating. There were aspects of Modern Warfare 2019 that should be mimicked by other games in the future, and there were some aspects that should just be thrown away into the abyss. I have a feeling that this will probably be one of the games that everyone looks back on with nostalgia, as it was a true trendsetter in the COD franchise and had many memorable moments and experiences that players could immerse themselves in. I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this game, so down in the comments below, let me know where you agreed or disagreed with me, or just give me your own good, bad, and ugly for Modern Warfare 2019, along with your overall rating for the game. If you've made it to this point, thank you for taking the time to watch and listen. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
up before the dawn. And I really have enjoyed my stay, but I must be moving on. Like a king without a castle, like a queen without a throne, I'm an early morning lover, and I must be moving on. Now I believe in what you say,